Hey, welcome to Mooney Reads. My name is Beck, and today I'm going to be talking about the books that I got between the months of April and May. And if you hear scratching and tapping throughout this video, I'm so sorry. My cat is playing with a twist tie? I'm not really sure how well you can see her. Of course she stopped now that she's being watched. She's making a little bit of noise. But that's fine. If you start to eat it, I'm gonna take it away. Okay, she stopped eating it. So today is a book haul day. All of these books I got sometime in April or May. Really, I think most of these I bought in May. I don't think I bought a whole lot in April. Really, both months have been chaotic, but that one was a different type of chaotic. In March I did a lot of buying, partly because I'm putting together some different reading lists and I had to buy for those. I think there's one that I still have to get, but that's for a list that isn't up yet. I'll just go ahead and get right to it in the order in which they were bought. So first I have volumes 2 and 3 of Heartstopper. I bought volume 1 a while back, and after I finished reading that, I read the rest of the comic that I could find online. So I have technically read volumes 2 and 3 already, but I loved it so much that I wanted physical copies. I've been reading a lot of LGBT graphic novels, and a lot of them have been so great, but Heartstopper really kicked it up a notch in terms of being able to make me feel about the characters. So I highly recommend the series. Like I said, even if you can't afford the actual books, the whole thing is online, and they actually have some extra bits online that aren't in the printed work. When I ordered those volumes of Heartstopper, I also ordered Radio Silence, which is just a regular novel that focuses on one of the minor characters in Heartstopper. I did really like the character that this focuses on. I know that some of Alice Oseman's other books focus on different characters, and I am kind of interested in that, but I thought that I would start with Radio Silence. Going back to LGBT graphic novels, the next book that I ordered was Mooncakes. I actually have already read this, and it was absolutely everything. It was super adorable. I would say in terms of like making me feel things, this is almost on par with Heartstopper. I'll talk about this more in my wrap-up, but this is just super adorable, and the aesthetic is perfect. It's very autumn, witchy, forest cottage vibes. The next set of books that I'll be discussing I bought at the same time. First, I'll talk about a couple of nonfiction pieces. The first is The Making of Asian America by Erica Lee. This is a pretty large, comprehensive history looking at racial identity and how they've been impacted by laws and culture within the United States. So I imagine this is going to talk about, a lot about laws like the Chinese Exclusion Act and other things like that that have made it difficult for Asian Americans. The next nonfiction that I have is one that I've been so looking forward to. I'm planning on reading it in June. That is All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. This describes itself as a memoir manifesto based off of George Johnson's personal experiences growing up queer and black. I have heard nothing but praise for this book. Bowties and Books in particular has been really hyping it up. But also, just look at this cover. Like, that's just beautiful. So I'm really excited for this book. And the final 2 books that I got are young adult fiction. The first is one that I'm planning on reading in June, and that is Pet by Akwaeke Emezi. This is actually the group read for Bookstagram Pride. I can put information about that in the description, the link to my Instagram post where I talk about this. But a bunch of us will be reading this as a group at the beginning of the month, so from the 1st to the 12th. This is a fantasy YA. I think that the main character basically finds out that monsters are real and kind of has to deal with that, but a lot of it seems like metaphor for sort of other things in their life. I've heard lots of good things about it, so I'm excited to read it. I'm also going to be reading Freshwater by Akwaeke Emezi next month, so it should be a really good time. And the final book in this book haul is a book that I had actually read before. I'd borrowed it in order to read it and just decided that I absolutely needed a copy, and that was The Grief Keeper by Alexandra Viasante. This story focuses on a teenage girl, Marisol, and her little sister. They're fleeing from violence from their home country and going to America, but they encounter some problems along the way, Marisol ends up having to participate in this like medical experiment. I don't really want to say too terribly much, but it is sapphic, and it's really wonderful, so I highly recommend it. My plan is to reread this at some point. I kind of started this month. Okay, that was my cat. I don't know why she decided to run. We never know why they decide to run. So, I do plan on rereading this soon. If I don't get it finished by the end of May, I'll probably be reading it in September, and putting a full review, because it has been a little while since I read it, but I would like to do something a little bit more in depth. I did buy an ebook this month. I usually don't get ebooks unless there's a sale or something, and that is what happened. Pleasure Activism was on sale at some point during the month for like $4 or $5. It's a book that I've been considering getting for a while, so since it was on sale, I just went ahead and got it. So those are all the books that I bought in May. Let me know if you've read any of them and what you thought. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Bye.